English with deck. So, I'm guessing most of you guys are adults. There might be some younger learners here, or listeners, should we say? There might be some younger listeners, but I would take a good guess that the majority of you are over 20. Yeah, I would say 20. Now, just as I've said that, actually, I'm going to quickly look at my Spotify analytics of the series and let's see how close I was. I haven't looked in a few days, if a while actually, more than a few days, a few weeks now. But anyway, let's see. Audience, okay, by age. Yeah, okay. There are no listeners who are under 18. No listeners 18 to 22. No listeners 23 to 27. Okay, the majority are in their 30s. Okay, fair enough. Similar to me then. 35 to 4, well, 30 to 44. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense then. So that kind of ties in really nicely to what I wanted to mention today. Now, I wanted to kind of talk about learning a language, especially learning English as an adult. So when you're a teenager or a child, you have tons of, well, free time, less responsibilities, less overheads. Oh, overheads, a great word. Um, Overheads are like when, so basically, overhead, my head, and over, on top. And we say overheads. Now, an overhead in this sense, it's not over my head, something, the ceiling is over my head. No, no, no. It's a metaphorical sense. For example, a car finance. For example, my electricity bill, my water bill, maybe my rent. They are over my head. Not literally, but I need to pay them. They're things I need to pay. So yeah, you have overheads you need to pay. So because of maybe you have kids, a life that you want to live, things you want to do. So because of this, we become very busy as adults, meaning that we have less free time. It's sad. And unfortunately, it's just how life works. It doesn't have to be that bad, though. You know, if we just look at it like, oh, I have no free time. Oh, what am I going to do? I don't have time to study. We all have 24 hours on the clock every day. We all have the same time as the next person. And yet, some of us seem to think, oh, I've come from work. I don't have time to do anything else. I get home, I do this, I don't know, maybe wash in the shower, make some food, watch TV, bed. Okay, that's cool. That's good for you. If that makes you happy, that is fine. No judgment at all. Other people, maybe they go for a run, eat food, go to bed. That's fine. Everyone has their routine. However, it doesn't take a lot just to spare 20 minutes, spare half an hour, spare 40 minutes even. You know? What do you do with the rest of that time? And that's what I want to speak about a little. We are busy adults. We are living full or interesting lives. And I think that is something that really puts a lot of adult learners off learning a language. And it doesn't have to, you know? I think there's this pressure, especially now with social media, become fluent in 5 days. Not, I've never seen that, but I have seen like in 1 month and stuff like that. And I disagree. If anyone could show me a proven method where you get fluent in 1 month or a bit more, please show me. I'm really interested in the science and the theory behind that. I am really interested. But I think this kind of way of thinking, it kind of puts a lot of pressure, on us, and it doesn't need to. But there's also this idea that language learning takes years and years to even get decent. And as an adult, I can't do that. My brain doesn't work anymore. That's not true. I mean, sure, as a kid, you can probably absorb things a little faster, but that's just because you've got a bit less going on. There's no reason you can't achieve a really good level if you set out to do it, if you put the work in. You know, practice makes perfect. And that's just something I want to say, even if you can only spare 20 minutes a day, you do 20 minutes a day out of your 24 hours. Now, you need to sleep. That is really important, by the way. Sleep is so important. That, especially as we're getting older, I find this these days. I used to be a really short sleeper, 5 hours, 6 hours. Perfect. I could go about my day. I could be successful with my day, or so I thought. There was definitely days where I wasn't, but get so much done. Um, yeah, now no chance, no chance. I need as much sleep as I can get. Sleep is so important for our bodies, our minds, and our just general well-being. Anyway, yeah, you have 24 hours, and you obviously need to sleep, but if you can spare even 20 minutes, I mean, 10 minutes is better than nothing, but let's go with 20, or 30. You spare 20 or 30 minutes to sit down, study some vocabulary, to try and read that article, that news article, that gossip magazine article. Watch a bit of a series on YouTube. That is better than nothing. Now, absolutely, if you can sit down for 1 hour and, I don't know, split that time, half an hour in a textbook, half an hour reviewing some words from the other day, even better. But don't beat yourself up if you can only do the half an hour. It's better than nothing. And really quickly, you will start to notice a difference, not just in your language retention, but in your general satisfaction. Maybe before you just lounged in front of the TV, like click, click. Now, don't get me wrong, I do that. I sit there. I have evenings where I just sit there scrolling, doom scrolling, and then after the television binge watch, the doom scrolling session, I'm like, should have done more with that time. It happens to all of us. But when you achieve that 20 minutes, that half an hour, you feel really good. And I think that is a really doable goal for majority of people. Even if you're a busy adult, 20 minutes out of your day is definitely doable. Just for sitting down and reading or listening to a podcast. If it's only 20 minutes, a couple of episodes of English with Deck, English with Deck will not go amiss. But yeah, so that's your what method number one I have. Now, a couple of other methods I just want to talk about quickly are, we are in an amazingly lucky position. We have the internet at our fingertips. We can access podcasts, videos, dictionaries, articles, everything, you name it, we can access it to help us with our language learning. So really, just find what clicks for you, whether it's reading something, whether it's listening and analyzing the text, and then go from there. And like I said, a little bit every day, and you will notice a massive difference. Practice makes perfect.